Wuthering Waves is a pretty decent game, however, it has quite a few problems. So, I wanted to talk about my main issues with the Resonators in today's video. I want to start off by saying that I mainly play Wuthering Waves, but nowadays I also play Zenless Zone Zero and Honkai Star Rail every other day, with Genshin once every month or so. Although I did play Genshin daily before I played WuWa. So, even though WuWa is my main game, I'll try my best not to be biased towards it. First off, we have the gender ratios of Resonators. I know some of you don't care for it, but if we take all Resonators in account, there is a 77% female to 23% male ratio, which doesn't seem so bad at first glance. And, in my opinion, if there was a 75% to 25% ratio, I'd be more than happy about it, albeit the bare minimum I'd want, since more men is always accepted. However, if we look at the current trend of released Resonators, so no launch characters, there is an 85% female to 15% male ratio. As you can see, the male Resonator pool is becoming smaller and smaller the more Resonator releases there are compared to the female one. Comparing this to Genshin Impact, they have a ratio of 67 female characters and 34 male characters, or around a 66 to 34% ratio. This is a lot better, and this also shows that making male characters doesn't EOS your game, since Genshin is still going strong. But gender ratios are not the only problem the Resonators have, because we also lack a large amount of usable 4-star Resonators. Although we have Sanhua, Mortevi, Dungeon, Baizhe and arguably Yang Yang, the rest of the cast is either unusable, needs perfect rotations to clear, or needs very high investment. Both Yoho and Lumi are completely useless, since they don't deal a lot of damage and they don't buff nearly enough to be competitive options. Right now there are so many potential 4-star Resonators we could have, like a Spectral Frazzle applier, an Arrow Erosion applier, an Echo Skill user and many more. If we compare it to Genshin again, just for a second, Genshin has great 4-star options. I wouldn't say they have great 4-star DPSs, although some of them can clear. Their support and sub DPSs are way better, since if you're missing a premium unit, you can easily fill it in with a 4-star unit of your choice. You could argue that Wuthering Waves is still a pretty new game, but the counter argument I have for you is that they also don't really make an effort in making usable 4-star Resonators. If they made a 4-star Spectral Frazzle sub DPS, a 4-star Arrow Erosion sub DPS, and a 4-star Echo Skill sub DPS, most issues will be fixed. Now that we have the 4-star issue out of the way, it's time for the final issue I have with the current Resonators. Team Restrictiveness. This has been happening more and more lately. At first we had quite a few Resonators that could match with a certain DPS. Jinchi can match with Yinlin, Zhezhe and even Yanwu for a free option. Jian can match with Mortevi, Alto and Yang Yang. Camellia can match with both Sanhua and Rosha. And Zhang Liao can match with a lot of sub DPSs and other main DPSs in both hypercarry and quickswap teams. However, lately teams have been way more restrictive. Kartafia pretty much needs Shakona for a really significant increase in damage, since she needs the Arrow Erosion. Zani pretty much needs Phoebe, since Phoebe grants enough Frazzle for a full bar, and Phoebe grants a massive amount of buffs for Zani, making Spectral Rover pale in comparison, if you even can use Spectral Rover, since Kartafia needs Arrow Rover to be able to have 6 Arrow Erosion stacks on the enemy. The main issue here is that the characters that are getting released are either locked into a special dot mechanic, an elemental mechanic, or a very specific effect that only some Resonators can trigger. I think that some Resonators having a specific kit is fine for the game, although I do think that there also should be more freedom in team building. Frolova went the right direction, although only time will tell if this was a one-off or that they're going back to the good old freedom. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, may I recommend the video on the screen right now. I appreciate you all. Bye bye.